It is May the 7th.
This is The Warning.
Donald Trump has a surprise on the way. He teased it out in the Oval Office.
I guess Monday night, some of you are coming with us. I think before then, we're going to have a very, very big announcement to make, like as big as it gets. And I won't tell you on what, but it's going to, and it's very positive. I'd tell you if it was negative or positive. I can't keep that out. It is really, really positive. And that announcement will be made either Thursday or Friday or Monday before we leave. But it'll be one of the most important announcements that have been made.
And Donald Trump also said the Houthis had surrendered. They had stopped firing missiles. He made a great deal. Well, it held for 2 hours, 3, maybe 4. And by the way, off of the Harry Truman, our aircraft carrier in the Gulf, another $70 million F-18 has rolled off of the ship into the ocean, the fourth major incident recently. Every day, Donald Trump produces the sickest reality show in the world. It is a testament to idiocy, incoherence, blathering that defies description. Let's look at the incoherence yesterday in the Oval Office.
You know, I'm a real estate developer at heart. When you get rid of that artificially drawn line, somebody drew that line many years ago with like a ruler, just a straight line right across the top of the country. When you look at that beautiful formation when it's together, I'm a very artistic person, but when I looked at that beauty, I said, that's the way it was meant to be.
Well, if I may, as you know from real estate, there are some places that are never for sale.
And a part of each day's packaging is the tribute to the leader by his court of sycophants, and it never stops. Here's Stephen Miller.
First of all, I had the pleasure of getting to be at the meeting today between the President of the United States and the Prime Minister of Canada. What I witnessed was like watching a grandmaster in chess perform.
Here's Ice Barbie.
Well, thank you, Mr. President. Thank you so much for dreaming big dreams and doing unprecedented things. Your entire life you have stood for doing things that other people thought they couldn't do and accomplishing unprecedented events and achievements.
Indeed, he is the greatest of the greatest of the great, great greats. But the reality is that the whole country, 352 million of us, in some sense, have been abducted and taken hostage. And we are in a padded and bubble-wrapped room of surreality, of absurdity. And it never, ever stops. And what the American people are shown is nonsense. The questions, overwhelmingly, that Trump receives are completely vapid and detached from the reality of what's actually happening everywhere around the world. Here is what is happening in the world. India and Pakistan are firing ballistic missiles. These are nuclear powers. And Trump just seems blithely unaware of the danger that's growing, that's cascading.
No, it's a shame. We just heard about it just as we were walking in the doors of the Oval. Just heard about it. I guess people knew something was going to happen based on a little bit of the past. They've been fighting for a long time. You know, they've been fighting for many, many decades.
He doesn't understand at any level, like you understand, that 2 + 2 = 4. Donald Trump thinks 2 + 2 = elephant. It is utterly incoherent. And that incoherence very soon is going to empty the shelves of America's stores and decimate America's businesses. There is a shockwave coming, and the American people overwhelmingly are blissfully unaware that we're about to go back to the earliest days of COVID. Except this time, the reason that there won't be toilet paper in the stores, the reason you won't be able to buy things that you could buy, and or that those things that you bought 3 months ago are double the price, is not the fault of a pandemic, but Donald Trump and his insanity and the idiocracy of incompetence that he has established around him. There are a number of factors that are working together There is the delusion, there is the idiocy, there is the sycophancy, and there is the malice. Since when in America, in the nation's capital, of the greatest democracy in Republican world history, at the restaurant owned by the husband of a CBS News anchor at lunch, Kristi Noem's Homeland Security Gestapo knocks into the restaurant demanding to see papers. Do you want to live in that country? Because here's the deal. If they can do that to a restaurant in D.C., they can do it to anyone, anywhere. And it's not about immigration enforcement. It's about an assertion of political power designed to drive fear of dissent. It's meant to intimidate opponents. And in the case of this action, I don't have a doubt in my mind that Norah O'Donnell's husband's restaurant was deliberately and purposely targeted as retribution for the 60 Minutes package that ran this past weekend that talked about the thuggish tactics Donald Trump and his team are using to stifle dissent by targeting the biggest law firms in the country who have been way too easy to get on their knees. Everywhere you look in this moment, there is a lack of resolve and fight, not on the part of ordinary Americans, but on the part of the leadership of the Democratic Party, the Schumercrats. It doesn't apply to all Democrats because there are plenty of fighting Democrats. These fighting Democrats are how we saved the country. Mikey Sherrill running for governor of New Jersey, Jocelyn Benson running for governor of Michigan, Abigail Spanberger running for governor of Virginia. These people are the antidote for the insanity at hand. This is the year, if you've ever thought about serving, run for office, run for Congress. It will be a year of uprising, of revolt against the stupidity in Washington and the weakness and the malice of the MAGA politicians who were elected to serve their communities, but have served only one thing, their self-interest and Donald Trump's. And when Donald Trump yesterday rambled incoherently about the marriage between Canada and the United States that will never happen, we should talk about the marriage that has happened. And it's the marriage of convenience, of political self-interest between Donald Trump and his many wives. And his many wives are the MAGA Republican Congress, men and women. They are all his supplicants, his obedient servants. He is their master, and they are his voluntary slaves. They have given up their independence, they've given up their duty, and forsaken their constitutional oaths, overwhelmingly, so that they may golf with Trump, dine with Trump, be praised by Trump, and it's all they seem to care about is staying in the good grace of this malignant bully, this thug. They're intimidated by him. They're scared of him. We have a political class of people like Lisa Murkowski who say, we're all scared. We should have political leaders in this country who are fearless, and specifically fearless of thuggery that's directed at the American people. I realize that I can talk for hours and hours and hours about what's going to happen. And in fact, a great many of the things I have said are going to happen over the last 10 years have all happened. But experience and pain, as they say, is the best teacher. And there are no words of mine that can stop the consequences of the pain that the American people chose by 49.9% of those who came out to vote in the last election. The American people, so disgusted with what they processed as a broken political system, a corrupt system, decided to light it on fire. And they gave the matches to an arsonist. And the arsonist did what arsonists do. They indiscriminately started burning things. And now the people, out of anger, frustration, rage, whatever it may have been, who elected this imbecile will suffer mightily for it. They were abused by his lies. They were conned by his shtick. Whatever the reason may be, the simple truth of the matter is more people than not in America exercised a terrible level of judgment. and they gave power to the most unworthy person who has ever sought it in the entire history of the country. And that person is taking that power and enriching himself through Bitcoin deals with Arab thugocracies, while the American people are told $2 for you and maybe one more. Since when in a free market does the president decide how many children's dolls each American kid can have? That's not a free market. The idea that the president sets the prices and the president decides the supply and demand is craziness. And it's the textbook definition of communism. Central planning, 5-year plans, 10-year plans. And so now the ships that are arriving in the port of Los Angeles are half empty. And those ships are going to be the most filled ships that come to the United States for a good long while. Trump has broken the supply chains that will not be easily repaired. He has damaged relationships that will take decades to repair. America, in 100 days, has been made weak and isolated, and nobody is lining up to do deals with the Donald. In fact, the general disposition of the world has been to give the Donald a giant FU. And that's what you should understand, because there's an FU coming your way, delivered to you by Donald Trump and J.D. Vance. Now, before concluding, I want to play a clip of J.D. Vance. This is J.D. Vance threatening people with being chained, put in detention, which is happening, by the way, every day to innocent people coming to this country. Canadian actress, somebody who's got the wrong book in their bag. Listen to J.D. Vance send a message to the world who might want to come to North America to watch a soccer match.
And I know we'll have visitors probably from close to 100 countries. We want them to come. We want them to celebrate. We want them to watch the game. But when the time is up, they'll have to go home. Otherwise, they'll have to talk to Secretary No, who I'll turn it over to now.
I have a message for anybody who doesn't have a U.S. passport about coming to America. Don't. You want to watch a soccer match for the World Cup? Watch it in Mexico. You want to watch a soccer match? Watch it in Canada. You're not safe in the United States. And you're not safe because of Donald Trump, because of J.D. Vance, because of Ice Barbie. And the number one thing you can do if you love liberty, if you love freedom, if you respect and admire America and you want her back, and you are a friend of this country, stay away. Do not spend your money here. Make Donald Trump's failures manifest as quickly as possible. Make it happen now so the revolt can begin and candidates can surface and all of this madness can be swept away, which it will be in due time. Great catastrophes of this era are just now beginning. India and Pakistan could be the first nuclear exchange in 80 years. World is profoundly more dangerous than it was 100 days ago, just like America's airports. This is all on Trump. It's all on Elon Musk. This is what they did. And now Elon has gone into hiding. And if you live in New Jersey, you can't take your kid to Disney World in Florida, not out of Newark Airport, because the air traffic controllers are telling us it's unsafe. And the CEO of United Airlines is saying it's unsafe. And it's unsafe because of Donald Trump. Whether it's the empty shelves that are coming, the unsafe skies, the dangerous world, or the crashing economy, the madness has consequences. And so for a very long time, the American media operated on a prism of, this is all show business. My friends, it isn't anymore. Now it's the suffering business. And the suffering is drawing closer every day as the shelves will start to empty very, very soon. And when that happens, prices will go up, jobs will disappear, and the economy will flatten and stagnate. And a generation that has been affected so poorly by COVID and all of the things that have happened over the last 10 years will suffer more. What an appalling moment. This is The Warning.
I'm Steve Schmidt. This is The Warning. I invite you to join this community where I promise to be honest, blunt, and direct about what is happening in this country. America is in crisis. Follow and subscribe to this channel and on Substack. Thank you.